Hi everyone, how are you doing today? How was your weekend? I'm Jimmy. I have to make a video clip for my town project, and this is my first time to make recording videos, so I'm a little nervous, but it's interesting. Anyhow, let me introduce one person in Korea who is very famous, very effective person in Korea. There are a lot of people. We have a 5,000 years history in Korea, so there are a lot of people. But I chose one person. He is Mr. JeonTaeil. JeonTaeil. He's a leader of labor union in 1970. So I'll introduce you the person JeonTaeil. He was born 1948. He was poor family member. His father was a tailor. He makes clothes, and he sell the clothes to the market, and he got money. But in his youth, he was the most. In his youth, it was the most happiest time in his life because his father make a lot of money. His father makes much money at that time. But after several years later, when he was 9 or 10 years old, his father's business went bankrupt because he was cheated by his friend. So his father has no money, so he has to go to Busan. The JeonTaeil has to go to the Busan, and he lived his relatives, and he comes in Seoul and go to Busan. So he went around for several years. After that, he became 16 years old, 17 years old. In his adolescence, he can make his own money. He can do it by himself. So he went to the street, and he became a shoe shiner. He became just labor. He became a cleaner. He became a beggar. He did a lot of things. So in his adolescence, he had lived tough times. When he was 17, 18, he lived in nearby Cheonggye Stream, and he became a tailor, same as his father. So he worked with other girls and boys in the very small attic, very small building, because they have to make clothes from the morning to the dawn to midnight. So 16 hours or 17 hours they had to work. And the owner of the shop, they made a lot of money. They take a lot of money, but they don't give enough pay to their store, to their staffs or clerks. So JeonTaeil, he thought this is not fair, and he started to study. He started studying about standard labor law, and he realized that this is not fair. This is not right, because in the law they had to work. The owner let their workers work only 8 hours a day, and they have to take a day off, a day in a week, and women, they can have one more day off in a month. But the owners all ignored all the laws. They just let them work every day. First to 30th of every month, they let them work. If they don't work like that, then the owner will lay them off, because there are a lot of people who want to work in the small attic factory. So Mr. JeonTaeil, he made a group. the labor union group, and the first name was Fool, because they thought they didn't know much about the law. They were not educated well, so they thought they are fool. They are fool, but they wanted to shout to the government, to the public, so they made a labor union. But even they make a paperwork. They make a paper and they spread out to the street, so people know that the Cheonggyecheon Streams factory stores all work too much. Their environment is not enough, so everyone knows it. So that information was aired in the television, so all people know that. But the government and the parliament politicians notice that, but they don't keep their promise. Oh, we will take care of all the problems. But next day, they don't keep their words. So Mr. Jeon, finally, 1970, when he was 22 years old, he went to the street, and there were a lot of people, because the day was supposed to have one big labor union day. So they went there, and Mr. JeonTaeil, he put oils on his whole body and make a fire. So he is burning on the street, and he shouted, "Please keep your promise, keep all the promise. We are all people. We are human beings. We need the right to live as a human, as a mankind." After 2 minutes later, then Mr. JeonTaeil went die. Before he dying in the hospital, he talked to his friends, his mother, that I sacrifice myself. I sacrifice my life for other people, for other laborers, like women's girls in very small attic. They work too many hours, and they are going to sick. So please, my death will affect good law, making good laws. That's his last word. Actually, his last words, "I'm hungry," because all of his lifetime he always hungry. So he said, "I'm hungry." That's his last word. So this is the end of the story of Mr. JeonTaeil. He is a really good young person, but he died for others. So I think that makes Korea to be prosperous and make this Korean nation more beautiful and more developed. Thank you for listening, and bye. See you in class. Have a good night. Bye.